So what's going on, guys? It is Jeremy, it's speedboxing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel before you click on 20 of the videos. Like always, it is appreciated if you guys could drop me a quick sub or two on my channel. Like always, it is appreciated. So this is going to be a prediction video for this weekend's heavyweight unification showdown between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. This fight has crept up on us and it's finally happening this weekend. And after a fantastic fight between Dillian Whyte and Lucas Browne last weekend, well, not really a fantastic fight, but a fantastic performance from Dillian Whyte with a spectacular knockout, it gave people a little bit of a taste for what's going to come this weekend between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker, because this is for 3 world title belts and the IBO title. But, you know what I mean, a lot of people have already made their mind up about who's going to win this fight. Like, a lot of people have already got Anthony Joshua beating Joseph Parker. The more casual fans have Anthony Joshua blasting Joseph Parker out of there in a couple of rounds, but the more educated boxing fans, the more hardcore boxing fans still have Anthony Joshua winning, but either by late stoppage or on points. This is what a lot of people are saying. So a lot of people are picking Anthony Joshua. I've seen a few people say that Joseph Parker's going to win, but not too many, you know what I mean? And it's not a good thing to really look past Joseph Parker in the fight, because Joseph Parker is a very talented fighter. He's got very quick hands. He's got decent foot speed and stuff like that. He's got decent power. He's got a decent skill set. Anthony Joshua, though, is a better fighter technically, in my opinion. He's not as quick as Joseph Parker, but I think he's going to be a lot stronger than Joseph Parker. Obviously, he hits a lot harder than Joseph Parker, in my opinion. And you know what I mean? I think Joseph Parker's still going to come and he's going to give it his all against Anthony Joshua. And it's going to be interesting what game plan he tries to do against Anthony Joshua. Like, a lot of people are saying the best game plan for Joseph Parker in this fight is to maybe box a little bit negative for the first 4, 5, 6 rounds. Maybe give away some rounds and then try and catch Anthony Joshua later when Anthony Joshua has used up a bit of energy. You know what I mean? Let Anthony Joshua control the early part of the fight, make him work, and then when Anthony Joshua seems to tire a little bit, then try and jump on him in the final half of the fight or later on. This is what a lot of people are saying Joseph Parker could do against Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua, from a technical aspect, in terms of flaws, like from long range, Anthony Joshua doesn't really do so well. Like we saw it when he fought Vladimir Klitschko. From long range, Anthony Joshua, in my opinion, was getting outboxed by Vladimir Klitschko quite easily, and that's why in the 5th round he had to come forward and try and put it on Vladimir Klitschko, because I think he knew he was losing that fight before the 5th round, before he jumped on Vladimir Klitschko and nearly took him out, you know what I mean? And this has even happened in the Olympics with Anthony Joshua, like in his 1st round fight against that Cuban heavyweight. Like, that guy was slick, he was fighting at long range, and Anthony Joshua struggled in that fight, and a lot of people felt that he didn't deserve to win that fight and that he should have went out in the 1st round of the Olympics. And I don't know, people are saying that Anthony Joshua does struggle with slick boxers and stuff like that, and that so far could be true, but a boxer with a good long range game seems to give Anthony Joshua problems as well. Like, even Carlos Takam, when he was moving around using lateral movement against Anthony Joshua seemed to struggle a little bit with that. Don't get me wrong, he was still winning the fight and controlling it, but he wasn't in control like he'd like to be, you know what I mean, against Carlos Takam. But from mid-range and from inside, Anthony Joshua is a different animal. He's a dangerous fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's a very good counter-puncher, Anthony Joshua. The way he slings that uppercut in from mid-range and on the inside is very dangerous. And a lot of people are saying Anthony Joshua is going to be a little bit more cautious in this fight, because in the Carlos Takam fight, he seemed to be a little bit more cautious in that fight, because a lot of people are saying since the Vladimir Klitschko fight, Anthony Joshua is being more cautious in terms of what's coming back to him, what's coming back at him. Like against Carlos Takam, like he was backing Carlos Takam to the ropes, and Carlos Takam was kind of like foot feinting and saying that he was going to throw something over the top, like he was going to throw something over the top, like a right hand or something like that. And Anthony Joshua would back off, and that would allow Carlos Takam to get off the ropes, you know what I mean? So that's what Carlos Takam was doing a lot against Anthony Joshua, to get off the ropes when Anthony Joshua backed him up. So Anthony Joshua, I think, is going to be a little bit more cautious. His chin was more tucked in the Takam fight, and I think he knows that Joseph Parker does have power. not power of a Vladimir Klitschko or a Deontay Wilder, but there's definite power there that will keep Anthony Joshua respectful if Joseph Parker manages to land. But you know what I mean? I think Anthony Joshua, obviously being the taller man and stuff like that, he's going to try and get the fight on the inside and try and bully Josie Parker, try and use his strength against Josie Parker because he's the bigger, stronger man. He's going to try and bully Josie Parker in there. But it'll be interesting to see if Josie Parker can be bullied, you know what I mean? Because this guy is coming from, obviously, the Samoan background, the Pacific Island background in New Zealand, and they're a very, very strong people, and he comes from a very strong family background and stuff like that, like the heritage and all that. So I think he'll come into that fight and he's going to try his hardest and try and leave it all in the ring. So I think this fight could be very interesting, but I still see Anthony Joshua being a bit too much for Joseph Parker in the fight. He's going to be a bit too strong for him, I think. I think the punching power, when Joseph Parker feels it, he might be hesitant to come forward as much. I think he'll come forward in the first few rounds, or like I said, he could try and be negative for the first few rounds and then try and come on strong later on. But it depends if he's thinking about going to points, because if he loses the first half of the fight and then comes back into it in the second half, I don't think he's going to get a decision. So he might just try and go for it all and try and put it on Anthony Joshua early. But if he does that, he might get hit with something and then he might even go into survival mode. And I could see something like that happening. So I'm going to pick Anthony Joshua to beat Joseph Parker. And I'm going to pick Anthony Joshua to win the fight by 10th round stoppage, because I think Joseph Parker will be durable. I think that he'll take a lot of shots, but I think eventually he'll get stopped or something like that. He'll succumb to something, and I think he'll go out on his shield against Anthony Joshua, and I think he'll put on a good performance. But I do eventually see Joseph Parker succumbing to Anthony Joshua's strength and his power and losing the fight by 10th round stoppage. That's what I'm going for. But if Joseph Parker somehow managed to beat Anthony Joshua, I'd be shocked, because obviously no one's really expecting it. But Joseph Parker is undefeated heavyweight world champion, but in a lot of people's eyes, he just won't be enough for Anthony Joshua. So if he wins, I'll be a little shocked, but at the same time I'll be thinking, well, Joseph Parker's a talented heavyweight and stuff like that. He's undefeated just like Anthony Joshua. Just because Anthony Joshua's got more money behind him and more world titles doesn't mean Joseph Parker isn't as hungry trying to make a legacy, you know what I mean? But I still see Anthony Joshua on the night in front of 80,000 people who are there for him at the end of the day. Like, Joseph Parker is coming into hostile territory. He's the away fighter. He's going to have thousands and thousands of tens of thousands of fans baying for his blood on Saturday night, and it'll be interesting to see how he copes with that. And he seemed to be fine when he fought Hughie Fury. I think it was down to Hughie Fury's negative tactics in the fight that made Joseph Parker's last fight, made his last performance look bad. I don't think it was nothing to do with the fans or anything like that, because he was only fighting in front of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people. But this time it's a different atmosphere. It's 80,000 people in a stadium in Cardiff, you know what I mean, wanting him to get knocked out. So yeah, very interesting fight. It's just one of them fights you need to see, and what tactics are going to be used in the fight. Because I think that's going to be a big part of the fight. Who's going to set their game plan into the fight, and who's going to use the game plan to their advantage. So yeah, I'm still rocking with Anthony Joshua to win the fight by 10th round stoppage. Comment below in the comment section, what do you guys think of this? Do you think Joseph Parker could win the fight? Do you think he could beat Anthony Joshua on points and get a decision in Anthony Joshua's backyard? Comment below in the comment section. It's JM, it's speedboxing.